Picture two women, same city, Columbus, Ohio, same age, 34, same job title, same salary, roughly $58,000 a year. They both filed their taxes last April. They both got a refund. But here is where the stories split completely. The first woman, let's call her Dana, got a refund check for $2,400. She was thrilled. She posted about it. She used it to pay down her credit card and felt like she had won something. She went back to work Monday morning, opened her HR portal, and did absolutely nothing with her W-4. Same settings as when she was hired at 26. She figured it worked, so why touch it? The second woman, let's call her Mara, got a refund of $300. She was a little disappointed, honestly. But 6 months earlier, she had sat down with her W-4, made a few small adjustments, and started taking home an extra $175 every single month in her paycheck. She did not wait for a refund. She had already been using that money. She put it into her Roth IRA every month, automatically, without thinking about it. By the time April rolled around, she had already moved $2,100 into an account that will grow tax-free for the next 30 years. Same income, same tax year, completely different financial futures. Dana felt like she won. Mara actually did. But here is what nobody tells you. That refund check you are so excited about? It is not a bonus. It is not the government being generous. It is your own money that they held onto all year, interest-free, and handed back to you like a gift. And the W-4 form sitting quietly in your HR file right now might be the most overlooked financial lever in your entire life. So today, I want to walk you through exactly what the W-4 is, why most Americans have it set up wrong, what it is genuinely costing you in real dollars, and what you can do about it before tax season is over. Because this is one of those things I wish someone had sat me down and explained years ago. Most of us were never taught this, and the system absolutely counts on that. Let's start with the basics. The W-4 is a form your employer uses to figure out how much federal income tax to withhold from every single paycheck. Every time you get paid, your employer is skimming a portion off the top and sending it to the IRS on your behalf. The amount they take depends on what you told them on your W-4. If you said withhold more, they take more. If you said withhold less, they take less. At the end of the year, you file your tax return, the IRS does the math. And if you overpaid, you get a refund. If you underpaid, you owe. Simple enough. But here's the thing. Most people fill out their W-4 when they first get hired, and they never look at it again. They just pick whatever the default settings are, or they copy what they did at their last job, or they ask a coworker what to put, and then they cross their fingers and hope for a big refund. I get it. We have all done some version of this, but that strategy is quietly costing you, and I mean costing you in a very specific, very calculable way. Here is the hidden mechanism nobody explains. When you over-withhold on your W-4, meaning you have too much taken out of each paycheck, you are essentially giving the federal government an interest-free loan for the entire year. The IRS does not pay you interest on that money. They do not invest it and share the returns. They just hold it and give it back in April. Meanwhile, if that same money had been sitting in a high-yield savings account, you would have earned somewhere around 4 to 5% interest on it. On a $2,000 overpayment, that is $80 to $100, in interest you just handed to a bank you will never use. Or consider this. If you had put that extra money into a Roth IRA or even just your 401k throughout the year, compounding over 20 years at a 7% average return, a $2,000 annual difference becomes over $82,000. I want you to sit with that number for a second. $82,000. Gone. Because of a form you filled out when you were nervous on your first day of work. Now let me tell you about two people who illustrate this perfectly. Meet Kevin. He is 40 years old, living in Phoenix, making $65,000 a year. Kevin has always loved his tax refund. Every year, without fail, he gets back about $3,000, and every year he spends it. A vacation, a new couch, catching up on bills. He has never thought much about his W-4. He is essentially putting $0 extra into retirement from that overpayment. Now meet Tanya. Also 40, also $65,000 a year, also in Phoenix. 5 years ago, Tanya sat down and adjusted her W-4 so that she was withholding just enough. She stopped over-withholding by about $250 a month. She automated that $250 straight into her Roth IRA every month. She did not get a big refund in April, but she barely noticed because she had already been using the money. Now let's fast forward. At 65, assuming a 7% average annual return, Tanya's Roth IRA has grown by an additional $239,000 compared to Kevin's, and because it is a Roth, she pulls every penny of that out tax-free in retirement. Kevin's vacation photos are nice, but Tanya's retirement account is life-changing. The difference was not income, it was not luck, it was one form. Now I know what some of you might be thinking right now. As you are thinking, but Lizzie, I like my refund check. It feels like forced savings. If I have the money in my paycheck, I will just spend it. And I hear you, I really do. That is one of the most common things I hear, and it makes complete emotional sense. But here is why that logic is working against you. If your concern is that you will spend the money, the answer is not to let the government hold it. The answer is to automate it somewhere before you can touch it. Set up an automatic transfer the same day your paycheck hits. Move it into your Roth IRA, your emergency fund, your 401k, whatever fits your situation. That way, the money is still gone from your checking account the moment it arrives. You still cannot spend it, but now it is working for you all year instead of sitting dormant with the IRS. Now automation solves the behavioral problem without sacrificing the financial advantage. According to IRS data, roughly 73% of American taxpayers receive a refund each year. The average refund is somewhere around $3,000. That means the average American is overpaying by about $250 a month, and almost none of them think of it as a mistake. They think of it as a system that works. But a system that quietly takes your money, holds it for 12 months, earns nothing, and hands it back while calling it a gift, that is not a system working for you. Here is another thing that stops people cold. Life changes your W-4 situation constantly, and most people never update the form to match. Did you get married? Have a kid? Start a side hustle? Buy a house? Get a divorce? Or every single one of those life events changes your tax picture. Every one of them should trigger a W-4 review. The IRS even built a free tool called the Tax Withholding Estimator on their website specifically for this. It takes about 10 minutes. Most people have never heard of it. So let's talk about what you actually do. Because I do not want to just leave you understanding the problem. I want you to walk away from this video with a real plan. The first thing you do is go to irs.gov and find the Tax Withholding Estimator. It is free, it is straightforward, and it will tell you almost exactly how much you should be withholding based on your current income, filing status, deductions, and any other income you have. Have your most recent pay stub nearby when you do this, because it asks for specifics. After that, why take the results from the estimator and use them to fill out a new W-4? The current W-4 form was redesigned in 2020, and it is actually simpler than the old version. You are not claiming allowances anymore. You are just entering dollar amounts in a few specific spots. The IRS has instructions built right into the form. The next step is to submit that updated W-4 to your HR department. You can do this anytime. You do not have to wait for a new job or a new year. Most companies let you do it online through your HR portal in about 5 minutes. Your employer is legally required to implement changes starting with the next or second payroll period after you submit. Once your withholding adjusts and you start seeing a slightly larger paycheck, the critical move, and I cannot stress this enough, is to automate that difference immediately. I do not let it sit in checking. Go into your bank account or your brokerage and set up an automatic transfer for that exact amount. If your paycheck goes up by $180, move $180 automatically into your Roth IRA or your emergency fund or your 401k every pay period. Do it that same week. Do not think about it after that. Let it run. And finally, set a calendar reminder to review your W-4 every single year in October or November. That gives you time to adjust before year end if you need to. Anytime something major changes in your life, new income, new dependent, marriage, divorce, review it immediately. These are not complicated steps. None of them require a financial advisor. None of them cost money. They just require about 45 minutes of your time and the decision to actually do it. Remember Dana and Mara from the beginning of this video? Dana is still waiting for April. She is still letting the government hold her money all year and calling it a win when she gets it back. But Mara stopped waiting. Mara looked at that W-4, made a decision that took less than an hour, and put her money to work 12 months a year instead of 0. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the gap between their retirement accounts is going to be staggering. Not because Mara earned more, not because she sacrificed more, because she understood that the refund was never a gift. It was always hers. She just decided to stop lending it out. That is what I want for you. Not a bigger refund, a bigger life. The kind where you are not lying awake doing the math on whether you can afford to retire. The kind where April is just another month, not the 1 month a year you feel financially okay. You have the tool now. The W-4 is not scary. It is actually one of the most accessible levers in your financial life, and it has been sitting there in your HR portal this entire time, waiting for you to use it. Go use it.